Okay, so welcome back. Today I actually have another product review, and what it's actually going to be about is my new lighting system. I do have lights. Usually I try to utilize this room when I'm filming product reviews, just because I have a lot of natural light. There's actually a balcony door here. There's also a fairly significantly sized window over on this side, and then over on that side of the actual home, there's another gigantic window. So I get a lot of natural light here. But because I didn't necessarily want to rely on the sun being out and not being a cloudy day or not being at night to always light my videos, I wanted something very similar to this, so then that way I could just shoot whenever I had the opportunity to shoot. So what I picked up was a kit by Mountdog, and if you haven't heard of Mountdog, you're not alone, because I hadn't either. I actually did a couple of searches on Amazon, went through, read reviews. This kit really didn't have a whole heck of a lot when I found it. I did like the price and I liked what it came with, so I decided, well, let me just go ahead and give it a try. And I'm kind of glad that I did, with one exception, and I'll get to that in a minute. When the kit came in, it was pretty much disassembled, and it was actually in its own bag, which I have. I'll show it to you shortly. But it came disassembled, and it was pretty much easy to put together. There was a couple of items that really, they probably could have been packaged a little bit differently, but once again, it's not really a complaint. And it came with everything you needed. This kit is only really set up for 2 light boxes, 2 soft boxes, but you do get 3 bulbs. Speaking of that, the actual wattage for these bulbs it's actually 1350 watts. So these things are very, very bright. I had the opportunity to check them all because it came with the third one as a backup. I didn't want to get to the point where one of these, I'll go through it and I got to replace it, and then I find out that one doesn't work. Appeared to work fine. For the most part, everything gets packaged up and it fits inside of this handy dandy bag that Mountdog provided. I actually thought this was a really neat touch, although I don't necessarily plan on taking this on the road very much, just because it really is for this room and maybe other areas of my house, but that's really about it. So as far as the product is concerned, once again, it's your typical softbox. Again, it comes with a diffuser. The diffuser really is just perfectly snug, and it goes over the softbox, and then on the side here, just make sure you can see it, there's a Velcro that actually holds it in place. One thing I wanted to mention, that today I am doing something a little bit different, because I am still doing my 1 lens and 1 camera. I have to stand a little bit further away to film items that are this gigantic. So I'm actually using a program right now called Lmaster, and I'll show it to you really quick on my laptop. And it actually controls the Lumix. Panasonic actually has their own app, which some of the B-roll that you're going to see from this, I actually used their app from my phone. But I will say I prefer having a larger screen, just a little bit closer, considering the size of the LCD that's on the back of the camera here. So because I'm doing manual focus, it's a little bit harder to see where my focus peaking is. But I digress. So needless to say, fairly sturdy build. The only real issue that I've had with this is on the very back. So you have these screws that actually just provide tension, and you either torque them down or release them. And once you torque them down, you can just leave it in place, very simply. However, this one, unfortunately, and I'll put up another shot, the thing that would provide that tension is actually cracked. So with that being the case, there is, I can only just drop this one down. I can't actually get this to stay in place like it's supposed to. Granted, I've already contacted the company, and hopefully I'll be getting a new one very, very soon. Otherwise, I will box it all up and send it back to Amazon, and then of course probably get another kit. But I really didn't want to go through that whole hassle. I preferred for them to just sort the issue, and I think that's what they're doing. So stay tuned. Granted, okay, it's staying, but it's not very confidence inspiring. So for the most part, the kit is like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There is your regular 110 plug, and what I am trying not to do with this is I'm trying not to put both of these items into the same outlet. I think I would be okay doing that, but just personal preference. And really that's about it. The bulbs, I'm just going to see if I actually like these bulbs, and in the event that maybe I don't like the light that they cast, or I need something just a little softer or a little brighter, I highly doubt that. It's easy enough to pick up a different bulb. They're available fairly cheaply off of Amazon or anywhere for that matter, and you know, sky's the limit. You just pretty much pick whatever you want. I'm probably, regardless of if I like these or not, I'm probably still going to end up with another bulb or other bulbs because I just like having those options. So once again, this is the room I normally fill in. The lights that I normally use, other than the natural lighting, is I actually have an LCD light, which I'm going to grab for you. I'm not using it right now, but it's actually this device right here, and I haven't put up a review of this at all, but this thing is bright, and I don't have the battery in it right now, but I can take it everywhere, portable. It actually came with a couple of diffusers, so you actually have this one. There's also one that casts like an orange glow, so it's pretty nice. All right, so back to the kit. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you what this room looks like. Well, first off, you're seeing it right now lit with just the natural light. The good thing about it is the room that I have over here, or I should say the window that I have over on this side, I actually have a diffuser right here. It's the type of blinds that I use. They diffuse the light. But then I also have a blocker. So I have I should say a curtain that actually blocks about 99% of the light. So I'll be able to get this room fairly dark. The windows that I have on the far side there, I can actually, they're plantation blinds. I can close those. They get pretty dark. And then the window I have here, plantation blinds as well. I'm going to close that. So there's going to be a little light that's creeping in, but not a whole heck of a lot. What I actually did whenever I set this up is I actually balanced the light based on the white here. And the white does provide some sort of reflectivity. So the light is cascading off this, is causing this to set the I set the exposure based on that. So I didn't want it to be overexposed. I didn't want it to be too bright in here. Then I didn't want it to be underexposed. So therefore, I wanted to create a nice balance. Granted, I didn't want to expose it off the light or off the shadows back here. So I think this is going to be the right way to determine what this looks like once I start lighting it up. Your corner is still fairly dark back here. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to create only 2 points of light. Normally I do 3 points, but my 2 points of light this time will be, I will take this one, and it's going to, of course, go behind the camera. This one will be behind the camera as well. They're going to be on either end, and then that way when I turn them on, you can start to see the difference. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually removed the lights. I'm going to do a quick pan just to kind of show you where they're positioned, and then I'm going to start making it darker, so then that way you can see what these two lights are going to bring. So right now, the first light I have on here, I'll pan over. This is using my pan head that I reviewed already on my camera. It's going to be right over here to the right. I'm actually going to make sure this softbox is completely diffusing everything and I'm not letting in too much harsh light. So then now, we'll go back over. And then the next one, I'm going to step over here, will be right there. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to the center and slowly get in there. All right, so let me just get here to make sure I'm kind of in frame. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shut the windows, and then you can kind of see what the difference is going to be. So bear with me. Okay, now I know that you probably can't see me very well. My lens, and actually what I'm going to do is I have my lens set to a 1.7 aperture f-stop. I'm going to bump it up to a 1.4. Okay, really didn't still make much of a difference. This is micro four thirds after all, so sensors don't really do that well in low light. But now that I have everything locked down once again, I'm going to jump over to, let me see, if you're looking at it, it's probably going to be the right hand side of the screen. Actually, yeah, it'll be the right hand side of the screen. So I'll cut on the first light. Once again, this is 3500 or 1350 watts. So there we go. So that's just one light, one lighting source. You do get a little creep from the window that's over to the side there, but not necessarily a whole heck of a lot. But as you can see, this is very, very bright. And that light is probably about, if I had to guess, it's maybe probably about 6 to 7 feet away from me. So it really is filling up a lot of space. The other cool thing I like about this is the fact that I can actually stretch them all the way up, so I can get the cascading effect down. And maybe if I'm going for like more of a Rembrandt feel with my lighting, I can actually do that. But that light is actually putting out a lot of light. So now if you bear with me, I'm actually going to cut on the second light. And hopefully I don't overexpose here. If I do, I will adjust just to make sure it does have the proper exposure. And that's actually what it looks like. So pretty straightforward. I actually think it's a little bit blown out. So let me just do this. I'm actually still learning the ins and outs of this particular program. So bear with me. I think that if I just go back down to about F2, that looks a little bit better. It actually does not give me my light meter, so that's one thing that I don't like already about this program. But maybe there's a way I can configure that. We'll get that sorted eventually. Okay, but that's what it looks like. So think about it like this. If I'm out here filming and I don't have sunlight, if I don't have, if it's night or whatever the case may be, I'm still not going to be constrained by that, and I can still film. And then the other part of that is, so this light, like I said, it's about 7 feet away. This one's a little bit closer. I'm going to say maybe it's about 5 feet, and it's a lot of light. I can bring these bad boys in closer if I want to. Can't think of a reason why I would need to do that. And on top of that, normally when I shoot, I'm shooting with 3 points of light just because, fundamentally that's usually what you do. Not saying that you have to all the time, but so there's a third source that I would probably put up somewhere too, just to add to this, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to have to. So it's really depending on what type of video I'm actually trying to shoot. But for the most part, I think it's pretty impressive. A lot of this stuff is well lit. Some of it might be a little overexposed. I see that there's a reflection right here on the poster coming from that light. That's actually an easy thing to sort. But yeah, this kit cost me like 59 bucks. Amazon Prime. So far, so good. The only one thing I would say, of course, and I've already mentioned it, was we were going to see how the company responds on fixing me or sending me that part to fix. As far as fixing it, literally I pop it off, pop the other one on, should be good to go. So that's all that I've got. What I'll say, if you have any questions or concerns, or I shouldn't say concerns, but if you have any questions about this product or any other products that I've actually reviewed, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Also, click like, subscribe, and that's about it for now. So Agent Fit signing out.